Hi, and welcome to an article critiquing from Collider. 9 movies like A Clockwork Orange, From Dark City to Logan's Run. Those 2 movies has nothing to do with being like Clockwork Orange or anything, but yeah, ready for a bit of the old ultra-violence. Okay, let's go. The writer does mention that A Clockwork Orange tackles the themes like systematic violence, youthful indiscretion, censorship, identity, and police brutality. That's stuff that happens in the movie, yes, but the main theme or goal is censorship. Sure, all the other things happened, but A Clockwork Orange is a movie that has the biggest irony in the world, where it's got a high rating and was banned a lot of places, especially in England. A movie about censorship was censored because it was too rough. The thing is, with England, it's not just that. The movie is centered around what was happening at the time, and there were a lot of violence and a lot of gangs and generally lots of problems, and that's where the movie is. It's really based in the time period it's supposed to be in. There's not really anything sci-fi about it. I don't know why people keep saying that. The sci-fi part is they're using some brainwashing that's been done and used by the CIA and other countries many years before. The only thing is it's never shown to be super effective again, but in this it works. So that's the biggest sci-fi thing is this. It works, and in it's sold as a new breakthrough in science where they got this they're going to use and they're testing it out on him. So I do see he writes a bit about what is that it's a political film in the 70s response to the Watergate scandal, the Vietnam War, and the social movements that began emerging on college campuses. I know they call it a dystopian film, but the film itself is not really that dystopian. It's the main guy and how he lives it, because you really should watch the movie. If you think, oh, it's dystopian and sci-fi, then you probably haven't watched the movie very well. It is about the time it's set in, and it's clearly the 70s. It's a bit exaggerated with some of the decoration and stuff, but then again, maybe it wasn't because the rich people did overdo or always does whatever is popular and considered fine and pretty. So let's go on. Too much talking already. Dr. Strangelove, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. In no way is this like Clockwork Orange. Yes, it's Kubrick, but it's totally different themes happening. It's a comedy, but it has nothing to do with it at all. It's about nuclear bombs and insane people. THX, again, nothing really. It's just, that's just more or less taking a sci-fi. That's a bad choice. Silent Green is in a dystopian future. I've seen places where they write that A Clockwork Orange is in a dystopian future where everyone's controlled, but no, it's not. It's a government that's trying to find a solution, or let's say a cure towards violence and riots and stuff. And what they come up with is a solution where they try to ban bad thoughts, bad behavior. That's in Clockwork Orange, and spoiler alert, what they're doing is programming his brain, so every time he thinks about doing violence, killing people, raping anything, then he gets to feel physically ill. So the irony is, because of the censorship they put in his brain, every time he wants to do what makes him feel good, he feels bad. And a problem with it, which is a big part of the movie, so they accidentally makes it so every time he listens to classical music, which is his favorite, he also get the same reaction. That plays a big part at the end of the movie, so I'm not gonna go more into that. Okay, as the right here, scarily prophetic film. No, it's not prophetic in any way. It's a dystopian worst case scenario, and I think if you watch Silent Green, you'd probably quickly realize it would be really hard to get to that point without the system breaking down long before. And that's the thing with lots of dystopian things and stuff like that, is it's a thought experiment, but technically it would always be way too hard to wind up in the situation where it gets so bad, because most things would break down way before it could get that bad. But they write, like A Clockwork Orange, the film explores a totalitarian government's distortion of the media. That's nothing like Clockwork Orange, and it's not totalitarian government, it's just the British government. And as I like to point out, in Clockwork Orange, there's only one guy who's getting the treatment, who has this. So the thing here is that annoys me is like, oh, they're just trying to push their objectives on the masses. And it's like, no, it's one person. And what they're trying to do is a psychopath who rapes and hurts and kills people. They just want to stop people from killing and hurting and raping. So yeah, and that's one of the big themes in it. And that is the problem, is you can do that, but what about free will? What about freedom and stuff? So yeah, Charlton Heston gives his last great performance as a straight-laced New York police detective, NYPD detective, really, as a straight-laced NYPD detective who discovers a devastating truth about the lower-class ration supplier. Oh my god! Oh my god! Why are these articles written by? Why are these articles always written by idiots? Haven't you seen the movie, The Lower Class Ration Supplier? Oh my god, no, that's not the story. That's, oh my god, I don't want to ruin it. Okay, this is, again, one of my pet peeves I had once, is when you have those blurbs on movies, you know, Netflix, anything, they write what the movie's about. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the movie. This one is a little bit close, but you could read this, then watch Soylent Green and say, nope, that wasn't the movie I watched. So I'm going to give a spoiler alert to Soylent Green. It isn't him that discovers it per se, it's his friend, as number one. Number two, it's not about the lower class ration supplier. It's about the food everybody eats. Logan's Run has nothing to do with Clockwork Orange. It's not a dystopian world of thriller. It has dystopian undertones because you have this thriving culture where you know overpopulation is bad. When you reach a certain age, you can't really give as much to society as you take away from it. And then to have the utopian society, you have to make sure everybody has everything they want and need. And that is why it's bad, because they have to end people. So yeah, if you're in a society where people go, well, I can't work, so I'm out, then there weren't anyone who had to work twice as hard. So yeah, that's a problem with the utopian. Why it goes dystopian at some point, because it will be bad for some. And yeah, maybe the age of 30 is a bit low, but hey. So yeah, this is more another one of those breaking out of the norms, because they want more. They don't want to stop existing. They don't want that. So that has nothing to do with Clockwork Orange. It has no similarities or anything. Let's go to Brazil. Yes, it's a dystopian future, but one where everybody pretends and tries to get their best. It's nothing like it. It's a guy who fights against the bureaucracy, the despair of the world. I can only say watch it. It's a good movie, but yeah, let's see what he's saying. Portrays what a future run by the world's greediest influences would look like. No, in both film, surveillance and media censorship. Are to blame for the general population's ignorance. Oh no, please. Oh, they don't. Okay, they don't do anything like that. First of all, in Clockwork Orange, and in this one, as I said, everything is just a sham, trying to make people ignore and not think of their problems. A really good scene. I can put in here if I find it instead of explaining it myself. But they're out to dinner and they're shown a menu with images of food, and the main character can't decide. And the waiter gets mad and says, just pick something. It's all the same, because yes, there are a bunch of pictures of different food, but you get the same slop on the same plate. There's nothing there. It's more like Soylent Green in that way, with there aren't anything else. But in this one, we'll just try to hide it and just pretend it's not there. Look at the burger and say, I want the burger, and you get your green slop. The problem is, the thing in Brazil is they're not to blame for it. They're just trying to keep the people happy while they're dying. And most people are okay by just ignoring the world. Then he writes, Brazil is slightly more focused on the adverse effects of technology. No, I'm not sure what he thinks. The movie is more like, everything's fucked, nothing to do, so everybody is a bureaucrat. Everybody sits by a computer and looks at forms and numbers and sends that around. There's just nothing there to do, and everything have become a bureaucracy to the very tiniest bit. Like in the movie, there's these kind of superheroes, which are free plumbers, I think who goes around and fixes issues like toilets and stuff. to the annoyance of the bureaucracy society who wants everything to be done by them, which means not just an endless stream of making things run around but not work. So it's not about that, it's about by bureaucracy. It's about how bad it gets when everything's locked up and nothing gets done because all you can do is write a form, complain, you get some response, then you have to fill it out right and send it back. So yeah, totally different film. Dark City. Yeah, Dark City had a few themes a bit like Matrix. It was made a year or so before. Some of the sets they built for Dark City were used in Matrix, actually. Dark City's vision of a totalitarian future run by an unseen group of villains bears many similarities to Clockwork Orange. Okay, please, you goddamn fucking shithead, stupid motherfucking writer, stop doing this. If it bears similarities, please mention any. Some. You can, I wouldn't say mention one, I'd say mention a lot, because if you say there are many, you have to show a few at least. And I can tell you, what's written there is totally wrong. It's not a totalitarian future. Oh my god. Slight spoiler alert, or more than slight. Some people are caught in what seems to be a weird experiment by something where everything is changed every day. I don't know how many totalitarian futures you have people go, yeah, today we're gonna change everything, and tomorrow we're gonna change everything. So yes, they're in what they're in some kind of giant experiment. It has some common themes and things, but totally different films. Dark City's vision of a totalitarian future run by an unseen group of villains bear many similarities to A Clockwork Orange. Shut the fuck up, you stupid motherfucking idiots. Shithead. By God. I'm not sure which movie the writer hasn't seen, if it's this one or Clockwork Orange or both. So yeah, I can't say this without saying spoiler, but seen the movie. I don't think it's that much of a spoiler, but yeah, there's no totalitarian government or anything in Dark City. At this point, I'm just gonna tell you. Totalitarian is relating to a system of government that is centralized and dictatorial, and it requires complete subservience of the state, which means it's a higher up that has something lower down doing everything, and it's a bit like a dictatorship where the dictator is just more than one person and they decide everything, how things are supposed to be run and what's allowed and what's not allowed, as in a normal country anywhere. There are rules and stuff, so that is all well and fine. And yes, you can discuss whether or not some countries, even though they have a regular government like America or Denmark or anything, whether or not it has some dictatorial issues or not, but that's not what we're going with here. So yeah, back to the spoiler, or very slight spoiler. Dark City, people in there are being experimented on by unknown persons. What we know from one of the first scenes is they can change everything. So this means every day is more or less a new day. We have a person who is a poor, sad, working class slob who beats his wife or anything, and they live in a slummy, scummy apartment. And then next day it's changed. They're the wealthy people. They live in the fine apartment. So they're in an experiment. And that's not how totalitarian works. It's not deciding what they can or cannot do or anything. It's someone changing who they are, what they do. That's just not the same. That's just being an overtly asshole, a stupid, dumb fucking person if you can't tell the fucking difference. Lobster, again, something totally different. I do get, we have a bit of the same claustrophobic feelings and stuff, but this is about people needing to hook up to become a couple, or else they'll be thrown out of society. So a mix-up of you have to fit in, so a bit of Logan's Run and stuff, but there's not really anything a Clockwork Orange in it, I can't tell. Unless it's a person with mental issues, but because sure, that's there. And that's just the main problem here. It's so stupid. The movies do not resemble each other. It's like you go with, oh yeah, but there's actors in all of them, and then go, yes, they're filmed, yes, but I think I'd argue that Bambi is pretty much similar to Clockwork, is pretty much as similar to Clockwork Orange as at least 80% of the movies mentioned here. It's a stupid fucking list by a person who hasn't seen most of those movies. It's just stupid and sad.